Welcome to NocBro Nation.
What's going on, guys?
Hey guys, today we're here to give you a predictions video for Walking Dead issue 169, Lines We Cross, right?
Lines We Cross.
Yeah.
It's a new story arc that's
New
coming
story
out.
arc.
Yeah.
So we'll post a photo up here of the cover. It looks shows kind of a ominous type cover of Dwight aiming a assault rifle in the back of
He's not going to do anything.
Rick's head, which
it's BS.
we all know that that's bullshit.
It's not going to happen.
So the description for this comic is it's time for Dwight to step up.
Yeah. Which is very cool because, Dwight has, he went through a lot last issue. Finding out that, Sherry was killed by Rick. Not really believing Rick about what the situation have happened, but we're hopefully going to see Dwight, as a title, he's going to step up to really become a leader or really not really a leader, but really help the community and help the group.
Yeah.
To where, they can trust him and he can, do a lot more. So he's been kind of in the background, from everything that's happened with Negan. Yeah. He's kind of beat down quite a bit, that he's starting to show his loyalty and his true colors a little bit.
So let's give you went a little bit into the last issue.
Sorry.
No, you're good. No, you're good. You went a little bit into the last issue, but I do want to just a quick overview. So we do get the conversation between Dwight and Rick, basically what happened with Sherry, and then we get the confrontation now of John. From the
Saviors.
Wow, Saviors.
Basically
a while saying
a Walking Dead video.
Yeah, it's been a while since we had an issue.
Yeah.
I'm jonesing for some Walking Dead.
That's what sucks being caught up.
I know.
We gotta wait.
So we get John, who obviously finds out what happened to Sherry. Then we get the awesome, good 5 or 6 pages of Negan talking, which was awesome.
Always great.
And then we kind of end the comic with Rick just in total, complete shell shocked with the loss of Andrea, and strips down and lays in her grave.
Yeah. On her grave. Yeah.
On her grave.
To be with her. And that was just a
heartbreaking.
Chilling last panel. Just
heartbreaking.
To make us wait like that, Kirkman, I love it, but I didn't like it.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's go back to Dwight real quick because we were talking about that. Yeah. So I truly think so we have the Saviors, and they're left with, a big gaping hole in leadership.
Oh, yeah.
And to me, when I see it's time for Dwight to step up, we kind of saw Dwight, this was in the 140s, I think, as the leader of the Saviors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he basically had to step down because he didn't feel like he was a fit to lead.
Yeah.
And I think that now is the time for Dwight to actually say, okay, I certainly got to be doing it better than Negan did or than Sherry did herself. So maybe it's time for Dwight to step up back into that leader role and take control of the Saviors again.
Right, because they, from also mentioning back in the 168, with the couple panels with Negan, he was asking, who wants to go back to the old ways when I was in charge, and
you want the iron again, Mark?
You want the iron, if you do bad things, you get points for food, and nobody really wanted that. So,
one person did.
Well, that was Mark, but he just immediately got
bitch slapped.
Yeah, slapped in the face. But I mean, Dwight knows exactly what he wants and how he wants to lead. And I think he sees a lot of that himself in Rick. Yeah. He knows that Rick is the main leader, but he wants to basically be his number 2. But he's kind of been struggling for quite a while. Does he want to be a leader? Does he not want to be a leader? Does he feel confident? He's been beaten down so much by Negan, and I really feel that I want him to become like a true right-hand man to Rick.
Yeah,
he kind of is starting to be, but he just hasn't fully become it yet.
Yeah,
and I'm waiting for him to.
Completely agree. I mean, so we see that he has leadership skills. I mean, look, when he was what you could say, some would say Rick's general for Rick's army. We saw this guy go into battle and really take charge, like order others to do what they needed to do to win the battle.
Yeah.
Really took charge and make the idea of if you can't beat them, join them, and puts the freaking whisper skin over his head. I mean, he came up with that. He led those people into that battle, and you could say, some would argue, that he was a major factor in them winning one front of that battle. Yeah. Now, he did make a mistake by underestimating the herd, but who could have seen that coming other than Rick, who saw what the herd was because Alpha showed him.
Yeah.
So I really think that we've been getting some really good shots of Dwight, kind of taking on that leadership role. And I think that possibly this issue, in part, will be about him really grasping that.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. And I kind of also, I still want to see, I'm still waiting to see what Negan's true role is going to be.
I think we're all waiting for that.
Is he just going to continue on the way he is, supporting Rick, or is he biding his time for something else to happen?
It's every single issue that I pick up, I'm waiting for the issue that this guy is just going to turn for the bad. And like, that's how we met him, as being a bad guy. Now we are getting his backstory, and heads up, guys, if you haven't picked it up, Image Plus 15 just came out yesterday. We did read it. Thoughts on that? Like, based on what we're seeing in the comic now, it's. Would you agree with me that it's almost like they're painting him out to be a really good guy that was just brought into being evil for a certain time frame?
What's funny is, reading a lot of the Here's Negan, it kind of portrays Negan as maybe a good guy, but throughout reading it, you see some of the tendencies. You see him reacting to certain situations. I mean, he's always cursing. That's just his thing. But
he is a sociopath.
Right, he is a sociopath. So you see him reacting to certain situations where I don't know if the apocalypse turned him to be more evil and ruthless. I think he kind of had that beforehand, but it was pretty much contained in the real world. But it's now brought out because there's no rules. There's nobody telling him what to do. He can now be exactly who he is, and that's how I think Negan is. Negan is true representation of himself.
Yeah.
But it was only contained in the real world because of rules, regulations, his family. But now that after
because
his
of Lucille,
right? Because his family,
the real Lucille,
right? Because of the real Lucille. But now that his family is gone and he's fighting to survive, he's doing what he can to survive, and the real him is actually now flowing out of him.
Yeah.
So that's how I think. That's how I feel it's been for Negan.
We got to think that the apocalypse shows who people truly are, right? I mean, you and I might be completely different people if we had to scavenge for food and like get a community. Like, certainly wouldn't be posting videos on YouTube.
Definitely not.
But yeah, I mean, going back to that thought though, I'm just waiting to see what I just feel like he's got an alternative motive, and I keep waiting for it, and it's never come to fruition. But maybe it's just never gonna. Maybe he's designed to be that right-hand man to Rick, like we want Dwight to be.
And I'm curious, like what also the viewers, you guys think of, and also for Josh, is because this is a new story arc. Do you think for the next, usually with story arcs is what, 6 issues?
Yeah. So
do you think for the next 6 issues, this is truly going to be all about Dwight? Because they're portraying 169 as Dwight has to step up. So with this story arc, and most story arcs are about 6 issues, is this really going to show the progression of maybe certain trials and tribulations that Dwight's going to go through, and then maybe by the end of it, he's going to, I don't know, be Rick's right-hand man or something else?
Yeah, I get a sense that we are going to get a little bit of Dwight in this next issue, but I do think that a lot of this arc is going to be about Ohio. I really do. Yeah. I think that now that we got past the death of Andrea, now that we got past the Whisperer War, and be clear, we are not past the Whisperer War.
Not truly.
We've just squashed it for now because
Right.
the herd's gone. We still got
we still don't know what
Beta.
else is out there. Beta is still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as a side note, we're throwing that aside right now. We're
Yeah.
going on a new story arc, and I really think that we saw that cover of a few people on the road. And I think what we're going to get is maybe more information about the radio.
What was that, 170? Sorry.
I think that was 170. Yeah, because 171 is the Fear of the Princess.
Right.
Which I was going to get into. But
right.
it's like we are going to get... I just have a feeling we're going to get a crew that's going to be sent on the road to find Ohio.
Right.
Or to go to Ohio.
Right.
I think that's truly what the next story arc is going to be. I could be completely wrong. And again, the covers have thrown us off so many times with The Walking Dead, but it truly feels like they're going to go out on the road now. We're going to see, Eugene's going to tell Rick what happened on the radio, what he's been hiding, or it's going to be, found out.
Right.
And we're going to go on the road and find Ohio. And my prediction is that the princess is going to be the voice.
Right.
Stephanie, right?
Yeah, Stephanie, I think it is. So I'm also, I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of like excited to something to happen for some type of group to get back on the road. I do like, having the latest issues be, within the community, fighting within the community, but I miss seeing them out on the road.
Yeah, because that's where we get to see the apocalypse,
that's
right?
Where you see everything. When you're contained in one place, you're waiting for it to come to you. Yeah. You're waiting for bad things to happen. So having to go out, look for food, look for supplies, look for a new place, getting on the road because, we still haven't fully dealt with the Whisperers yet.
Yeah, exactly.
So to where they're going to show up in the story arc in the next few issues, I just wanted them to get back on the road.
Yeah, and I think we're going to get that. I definitely think we're going to get that. And I think that was possibly the whole purpose of Ohio was the fact that here we have this different community. And I think now it's going to be time to figure out who that is. Look, Fear the princess might not even be Stephanie. It might be someone that they find along the way.
Right.
But I definitely think we're at least going to get on the road. We're going to get a small group. And I think it's going to possibly be Eugene.
Yeah. I think Eugene is, he's feeling so sad.
Exactly.
Feeling that he's responsible for the death of Andrea, that he, I think, eventually, hopefully, once he mourns, he wants to get out and start helping.
Yeah.
And become more of a presence there.
Yeah. I mean, we already saw him when he brought all the bullets to the gate and said, this is my part. I have to do something. So we already know he's feeling like he's not giving to the community.
Right. He wants to do more.
Now, on top of that, he feels like he caused the death of Andrea. Mm-hmm. He probably, wants to get out of that place.
He probably feels like he wants to get out because maybe he feels like everyone wants to kill him, especially Rick.
More reason to get out of and go to Ohio.
Yeah, for sure.
The question is obviously we got to assume that at this time they're out of gas.
Yeah.
So they're going to be probably on horseback. And how long is that going to take? Obviously, it's a comic.
A while.
But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. And we might see some other historical places while they're on the road. That'd be cool.
I'm hoping so. I'm really hoping so. So, for me, for 169, for the beginning of the story arc, yes, I'm excited to see if it really is truly going to be a lot of Dwight. And maybe, I don't know if they'll throw in really any flashbacks, but kind of maybe some scenes of certain situations that we didn't get to see in the last few issues of maybe his thought process. Yeah. Of what he's thinking about. Maybe of what he was thinking about after the death of Sherry. Yeah. What is he thinking? Is he kind of contemplating in his head, did Rick truly kill her out of malice and, hatred, or did something happen? What am I going to do now? I kind of want to get some more context of what Dwight is really thinking about and where he's kind of his head is really leaning towards. So that's kind of my thought of where I would like to see 169.
Yeah, I agree. I think in 169, look, they're working on rebuilding the community. We saw that in 168. Oh yeah. I think the effort continues, and I think that Dwight's going to be a big part of that. So I do think that the next issue will be Dwight heavy. Possibly. We still have an issue with the hilltop too. It'll be interesting to see if they go back to the hilltop and try and rebuild the hilltop.
One thing I don't want to see in the next issue or the next couple issues is, I know we might see it, is I don't want to see too much of Rick grieving.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the 168 of him lying on the grave of Andrea, that was, I mean, it made me tear up. It was very sad, but I'm kind of over Andrea's death. I'm a little over it, so I would like to see how Kirkman and them do the writing as far as how long it would take Rick to get truly over it. If they're going to have him be really attentive, or maybe he's still out, maybe he's out of it or something, and then that's kind of where we'll see more of Dwight and the rest of the community. He's kind of in the background. Maybe Carl's with him and dealing with his own. I just don't want to see too much of it.
Maybe another prediction is we get not necessarily a completely broken Rick, because we know that he's hurting, but maybe Dwight has to step up and take over for Rick temporarily while Rick is grieving. Yeah. Maybe Rick is so, because look, the guy laid on a grave.
I think that sounds
I've lost people.
That sounds really good.
I've lost people.
Yeah.
Not to the point where I want to lay on their grave, and they're pretty close people.
Right.
Now, don't get me wrong. Yeah, he lost. This woman was practically his wife.
Yeah.
So maybe he's just so torn that Dwight has to step up and be the leader of
that
everything.
Sounds good.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
I can see that. I can definitely see that. Yeah, and kind of let him be more in the background, not show too much maybe of Rick mourning. Let him be in the background and have, like Josh said, kind of Dwight is taking up a little bit. He's taking over. He's stepping up. He's not going to completely take over, but he's second in charge.
Yeah.
You know, he's his right-hand man. Rick is grieving, doing his thing. Let me take over. Let's rebuild. Do what we need to do. Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Maybe he's the one that makes the decision to send the people on the road too.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely. Guys, let us know what you think of issue 169. It's going to be coming out next week. We already have next week? Next week. Can't
next
wait.
Wednesday.
Gosh, it's so hard waiting for Walking Dead.
What sucks, though, is that, well, it comes out Wednesday, but, you know, because of the holiday, you know, our comic book shop might be a little delayed. Normally, we'd get it around 10 in the morning. But we'll still get it Wednesday, but it'll be later in the day. So we will definitely get that Wednesday. We'll do a video on Thursday, and we'll post it immediately Friday morning.
Yeah.
So look for that video. Let us know what you think of 169 until then, of any predictions or thoughts that you might have. And we'll definitely have some conversations back and forth when you do.
Yeah.
So it should be great. I cannot wait. It's been too long,
guys,
between Walking Dead.
Subscribe to our channel if you like the comment. Let us know what you guys think. NocBro Nation,
we're out.